Good morning, guys. I'm Lee. You're watching Barham Engines. Remember, hit that subscribe button, guys. We're doing really well. And welcome back to another video. So today looks like probably the majority of the day for me is Cosworth day. So at the moment, I am just long studying this Cosworth block, the 200 block, and it's the one of a pair that we had from a customer. So this is the one that was already bored and faced. We're just doing the 6 long studs. I've ordered the studs from Julian Godfrey, as I normally do. Do excuse the husky voice. I've got a bit of a chesty something or other. There's always something floating around this bloody work. And the other one is over there, which I bored to +1 mil because it was already at ½ mil, but it needed boring. So that one's got to be 6 studded after this one. And while these two are on the go, in the background there on the boring bar, I've got the guy from France's 200 block, and I'm just boring the liners. I fitted the liners this morning, first thing, and just boring them at the minute. So after that, I'm going to face the block. Then we're going to do 10 long studs on that one, and I'll show you how to modify the water pump on the 10 long studs, because one of the long studs sort of encroaches in the water jacket there where the water pump goes, but I'll show you that in a bit. And so yeah, I'm going to be pretty busy with that today. Right guys, I did mention to you a week or so back that we are going to Castle Combe to do a track day this weekend. I know we usually like going down to Perranporth, but that is actually the weekend after. So yeah, this weekend we're going down on the Friday night, making a bit of a night of it, and the track day is actually on the Saturday. Usually the problem for us is a lot of track days at different circuits are in the week, but obviously because we're so busy we can't really afford to keep taking time off to go and play around in the kit car. But yeah, so we've got that one booked this weekend. As you all know, that the back of the car is hopefully done now. The diff's all done. It seems to be holding oil, so really I think the rebuild worked. What the ATB diff's going to be like, I do not know. Should be interesting. We're going to do a bit of a video, make a day of it, and yeah, show you guys what it's all about and how it goes really. Paul's hopefully going to come down with us, so myself, Paul and Isaac, along with the father-in-law, who certainly won't be having a drive. He'll be there just for the giggles really. But we've just took the kit car down this morning to Tom again. And Tom is going to be redoing the exhaust because Castle Combe are a little bit sensitive with the noise down there, and I have my doubts whether it will sort of go through there. So I think the limit on that track day is about 95 decibels, which isn't a lot. So what he's going to do is he's going to shorten the headers on the exhaust, and he's going to make a longer silencer. So in effect, it should be quieter than a normal bike, fingers crossed. So that's what he's doing. This morning I went round to Islands Motorcycles, got some nice Silcoline Pro 4 oil, give it an oil change and filter obviously. So it's all ready to go guys, apart from the exhaust. So we'll hopefully get some feedback off Tom and yeah, show you guys what we've changed on the exhaust and what it looks like. Right, so Paul is still on the BMW M55.
N52.
M52. Whatever.
Same thing basically.
Same thing, yeah, whatever. So what's the score then, Paul? How far we got?
So cranks in obviously, pistons and rods are in. Turns over lovely actually. Just by a screwdriver. I can get his in.
So as I explained in a previous video, we put this one together and it didn't feel quite right, so I've had it all apart. And Paul went home and put it back together. Weirdly, checked everything. It all seemed to be all right. The bearings didn't have any odd sort of wear on there, but it now turns over very freely. And as you can see,
beautiful.
Even with all the rods and that torqued up, turns over perfect. So they're all torqued up, are they, mate? Yeah,
all the rods torqued up. It's a weird setting. They're stretch bolts, so they're like 20 newton meters plus 120 degrees. Yeah. Which is annoying because it's much easier just a torque setting, because you can go over and double check them. But yeah. But yeah, they're all gone in nicely. Turns over lovely. Lovely.
So all we're waiting for now is oil pump.
Oil pump, yeah.
Oil pump chain and the back tensioner assembly for the oil pump chain.
Yeah, the bottom chain guide assembly. It's like The old one's in here somewhere, but the old one's sort of little.
There we go, that little Triffid there. You see these guides and tensioners, they all sort of wear, if you can see down there. Got the tram lines in there where the chain's been running, so best to renew all those little bits really.
So once we get that sort of the chain cartridge set up, we can slot that in and then put the head together and bolt the head on. So
yeah, so the head's over here that Paul's reconditioned, but as you can see, we're going to have to dig out our book of destructions just to see how this goes together, because this is one of those lovely bloody Triffids with the weird springs and all that. So here's all the bits Paul's cleaned up. So next step, I think, with this, we haven't ordered new rockers because they looked in perfect condition, to be honest, and it's had no clang up or anything, but we have ordered a set of hydraulic lifters, so we're just going to change those. I think this engine's done about 80,000 miles with no troubles. It's just that he wanted it all refreshed. He wanted it all to sort of look nice as well, because I think the car's pretty minty, and just serviced really. So yeah, we're going to get our special tool out and put this one back together, and then this head can go on as soon as we've fitted the oil pump and what have you. I think next step for Paul really is to do this one here. So this BMW is the one that we had the iffy set of Comrod bearings, the ones that are 0.25 meant to be standard. So we've got a box of bits here, got the mains bolts, so I think we'll just get this one, the bottom end together at least, and just torqued up. I don't know where the bearings are. And then this one's all done. So we better check these. Well, the good news is, guys, this is the first packet open. As you can see, STD on the bottom means standard. So these are all standard, not 0.25. So they are good to go. And there we go. Second box open, all standard. Now, the weird thing is, when our customer went and spoke to the dealer that supplied these bearings, they did say that it has been particularly common with these BMW bearings where they've been packed up wrong. So whether they had a batch where there was a big old cock up and a load of 2.5s got mixed up with the standards, I don't know, but he said particularly common with the BMW. So if any of you guys are buying any King bearings for not just the BMWs, but particularly the BMWs and anything else, do check the sizes that are stamped on the bearing. And if you have a vernier, you may as well measure the thickness of them as well, because that will tell you. Right, guys, workshop aside here, this is about the Lamborghini. So I'm a little bit puzzled here, and I've got to put it in today's video, mainly just to get some advice off you guys in the comments and what you think, whether you think I'm going mad or I'm just being unrealistic or unreasonable or what. I'm confused. Right, so we all know the Lamborghini's gone in for a service. They told me when they estimated it, they told me it was a major service. Because of the age of the car, apparently you get 14 services in the book, scheduled from minor to major, all that. And then it goes back to the beginning, apparently. I don't know how it all works. And what they do is they sort of look back at the beginning as to what it was then and sort of start over again, really, just because of the age of the car. So last year was a minor service. I've got my invoice here for last year, and we've got the listed parts for a minor service. So you've got your engine oil, your battery remote, your windscreen cleaner, oil and filter, all the usual. That's all itemised there, and those bits there come to about 135 quid plus the VAT. Then we've got labour at the top. We've got labour, £825. This is minus the VAT. And it's got 5 hours labour. So that works out about £165 an hour plus the VAT, which I don't know whether that's what they meant to charge or what they, you know, that's what it was. They did a few bits extra. So you've got the collection and the delivery of the car. You've got the MOT here. We've got what says an hour's, it says one. I'm assuming that's 1 hour's labour, but they did it 107 quid. So that's confused me slightly. But that was just to disconnect my bypass valves on the exhaust, make it sound a little bit more throaty. Anyway, the whole bill was £1,315 plus the VAT. That's what I'm assuming is a a minor service. That's what they charge me. So this year comes along. They said it's a major service. Bring me up. What does that consist of? Well, apparently now they don't list all the bits that they put in. They just put down a service kit. Service kit comes to 329 quid. So I said, look, can you do me a favour? Because I don't know what that consists of. Obviously, being in the trade, I need to know what is in this service kit. Well, apparently, the service kit, you've got pollen filters extra, you've got spark plugs, and that sounds like it, really. So I said, what? So that's 200 quid extra. Can you just do us a favour and itemise the parts just so I can see on the invoice for myself, and if I ever sell the car, what has been done, what's been in the service kit? So finally they seem to be doing that. But they estimated me. I know it's an estimate, but last year they estimated me, and that's how much it was. It was only because the only reason it wasn't a quote, and is because they had to add on me ringing up and saying, can you disconnect the bypass valve? Everything else was the same. So they know how many hours to charge on a service, whether it be minor or major. So this year I was estimated, bearing in mind they were going to be changing the gearbox oil and the pollen filters. Apparently the pollen filters it's a 2-hour job on them. I don't know, maybe that's right, maybe it's not. So there's 2 extra hours labour. The estimate there on the labour was £1,350 plus the VAT. They said this year the labour works out at 165 quid. So that's 165 quid divided into... So that works out about 8 hours labour. The technician rings me up, and the guy on the service desk, it's a different chap to who I've been speaking to. I've been speaking to a lady before now and last year. He said it's not a major service, because that was done 2 years ago. They don't really work in minor and major at this age, is what he said. And it's 8 hours at 135 quid. So he's working out that they're doing it 135 quid this year, and it's 10 hours. And I said, well, what? He said, but it's not a major service, so we haven't got to do the gearbox oil, and all we've got to do extra is the pollen filters. I said, what? Which is 2 hours more, yeah. So that's 8 hours labour. I said, well, why last year was it only 5 hours labour minus the pollen filters? He said, you were under... He went away, and then he rang me back. He said, you were undercharged last year. It should have been 8 hours as opposed to 5. I said, well, okay. Then, so basically for a minor service now, it's 8 hours. Yeah, right, okay. Now, they're now telling me that with the pollen filters, it's 10 hours. I've gone away and sieved through my emails just to print out the estimate that they sent me and last year's bill, and I've come across an estimate, which I didn't look at the time. What they've done is they've sent me someone else's estimate. So, first of all, I don't know whether that's a GRPD breach or what, but the only problem I've got now, and I've rang back and spoke to the original lady that I spoke to that gave me these estimates. I said, look, this is the score. So what your guy's telling me is it should be about 10 hours labour, about £1,180 plus the VAT to do the pollen filters and a minor service. Yeah. I said, well, the problem you've got is last month you sent me an estimate for somebody else with the same car, okay? You've got the chassis number on here, their email, the whole lot. It's the same car as mine, the same age. They've itemised all the parts that they're doing. So they're doing, by the looks of it, they're doing a minor service with all the bits, oil filter, all that, screen wash, remote battery, all that. But they've listed on here gearbox oil as well. The gearbox oil was on top of mine. That wasn't included in mine. But they've quoted him 675 quid plus the VAT for labour. So even at 135 quid, that's 5 hours labour. That's what they charged me last year at £165. So this year they're saying it's £135. the same as what matey, but he's been quoted 5 hours for a minor service and the gearbox oil. So I rang her up and I said, this is the problem you've got. Your man's telling me that without the gearbox oil and without the pollen filters, it's still 8 hours. Well, why is matey being charged 5 hours with the gearbox oil on top? It doesn't make any sense. It seems to me that you're either, your hourly rate is just whatever you decide it is on the day, or your hours are. I said, this does not make any sense. I said, I think you need to be going away, seeing one, why you've sent me this, and two, why they vary so differently. Because what you're telling me, they're telling me that it'd be a couple of hours extra to do the gearbox oil. So even if I didn't have the pollen filters like matey here, they're telling me my service labour bill would be £1,080, whereas his is £675 for the same job. Not happy, guys. Not happy at all. I understand I'm running a Lamborghini. It's not going to be as cheap as most other general cars, but I'm not a mug. I am in this game. I do deal with garages and main dealers on a daily basis, and someone's messed up here. One, someone's messed up sending me that estimate there of that gentleman's, and two, they seem to be making it up as they go along here. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think about that, guys, because at the moment I'm not very happy. Well, it looks like Paul has managed to get both of the bottom ends torqued up and what have you on the BMWs, just waiting for the oil pump on the other one and the oil pump chain, etc. That one there, we're only doing the bottom end on, and his seems to be all done now. So Paul said it turns absolutely lovely. So yeah, until another video, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think about the main, don't make me say main stealer, don't want to say it. But yeah, I'm pretty fuming about that at the moment. There's got to be a mistake somewhere down the line. You guys all know how honest I am. I don't work like that. I don't sort of make it up as I go along. I'm very honest as I can be with my customers. So things like that really get my goat. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. But until another video, guys, remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take care.